Yeah.
Need a shot?
I know.
Yeah, take one.
I know.
I
I can
saying,
tell. You don't love me the same. We ain't moving the same. Oh man. Welcome to the therapy podcast. Hosting today's Shotsz. Special guest Flow Shack.
Yes, sir.
Today's quote: I hope you do not let anyone else's expectations direct the course of your life. Now, I want to open that by saying people or everybody you meet in your life, no matter if it's one quick interaction or one long interaction, or you be around that person for a month, 2 months, the rest of your life, everybody has expectations of you or from you or about you. But it's not your job to meet the expectations that they have placed on you. Because I'm gonna open it to I'm gonna use it as a metaphor or a simile. Actually, that's a good one. Expectations are like an ocean. You swim in them because they're all around you, but if you focus on them too much, you will drown. And to say that is to say people will sometimes tell you the expectations they have of you, but if you focus too much on them, you will get lost in them and you will not be able to pull yourself out. And that will drown you, and you will be overwhelmed in the thought of not being enough for a person that doesn't matter or doesn't care if you are enough or not. Just because they put an expectation on you does not mean you should meet that expectation. Not every expectation, or not really any expectation besides the ones you put on yourself, are important enough for you to meet.
Facts. You can say that quote one more time? That shit was deep.
yeah, let me just close this real quick.
I hope you do not let anyone else's expectations direct the course of your life. Julianne Donaldson.
Shit. To further elaborate on that, what you were saying with the ocean thing, that was a dope metaphor. Because deadass, I had that. Honestly, you start losing the expectations for yourself when you get involved in other people's expectations of yourself. I got lost in that shit for a long time, you feel me? Like, what does everybody else expect me to be? What does everybody else expect me to do? Thinking like that, I wasn't really living true to me. And they could never live true to you if you're not paying attention to what expectation are you really living up to? Or whose? And with that being said, like, expectations is a real thing. I would say, even for yourself, focus on your expectations of yourself.
Yeah.
And if they're not high, if they don't even, like, I would say, like, scare you, like, wait, I expect this of me, like, I expect my best, everything I do, go harder. Make them higher then. They should make you have to do something that you never did every damn day of your life, just so you can meet that expectation for yourself. Not to where you're draining yourself, but to where you can have something you do every day where you pat yourself on the back and say thank you to yourself for being you. And even if you fell short of that expectation, for going for it. Ultimately. Because it's not the destination, it's the process. It's the journey. You can make the expectations work for you or against you. Once you get that shit working for you, the sky is not even the limit. I tell you that. Shit, I can't wait to see where my expectations take me. I got to a point I don't even listen to people's expectations of me no more. Because they might be shortballing you. Don't let them shortball you, lowball you, whatever they say.
Yeah. You gotta set your own goals. Don't let nobody set your goals for you, because what you want or what you expect will definitely not be the same as what somebody else wants and expects for you. So it's like when you set an expectation on yourself, aim high, because comfortability is not where you want to be. You do not want to be comfortable. You want to be uncomfortable because in uncomfortability is where growth happens.
Growth
That's
pains.
called growing pains.
Mhm.
You can't grow while being comfortable. You're good. You're not pushing yourself. If you're not pushing yourself, you're not allowing yourself to get better or to grow. You have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations and in uncomfortable positions to learn. Think about it. When you were growing up, when you were in school, you were uncomfortable. When you learn things or when you don't understand things, you had to be uncomfortable to try and understand, to learn. You have to put yourself in a situation or in a position where you have to go harder than you previously did, or you're not going to get any better at doing whatever it is you want to do.
Facts.
And if your expectations aren't on getting better or being a better version of yourself, you're not going to reach that because you're not aiming for it. You have to put your arm out in order to reach something. And reaching for your expectations is like putting your arm out. You can't reach what you're not grabbing for. And if you're not trying, you're not grabbing.
Not growing, not developing. You stagnant. I hope anybody listening that this could touch y'all to where it's, it sparks a new fire in your eyes where you start thinking about your own expectations for yourself even. And lose all expectations of everybody else as well, because people don't have to be what you expect them to be. They're not here on this world to be what you expect, just as much as you're not here to be what they expect.
That's facts.
And, it's like grace. Give yourself grace and give other people grace. But only way is up with that being said, for real though. Shit.
Yeah, it's like, how do I word this? So I used to have expectations of myself, but I based them around other people's views of me. So going back to perception, right? The way other people viewed me, I cared so much about that I based my expectation and my hopes with trying to change their perception of me. But that is very hard and damn near impossible to do forcefully. You can't. You can't force somebody's perception of you to change. You can't. That's not on you to change, it's on them. Because no matter how somebody sees you, somebody else sees you differently. You see yourself differently. You will never know exactly the way somebody else sees you. Even if they tell you, you don't know.
Truly.
So you will never be able to reach that expectation because if you try and you try too hard, you will lose yourself in the process because that version of you that they're seeing is not the version of you that you are.
Or striving to be.
And I was like that. It took me a while to be able to get out of that habit to try and meet everybody else's expectations based on their perception. But their perception and my expectations and their expectations will never be the same thing. And it's not important for you to meet their expectations or for you to match their perception. It's important for you to match your own. Because they don't live your life. They don't walk in your shoes. They don't know who you are. They don't know how you feel. And that should be more important to you than meeting the way somebody else wants to see you.
Facts.
Because you'll drown in it. Like I said, you will drown. I was drowning. And it took me a very long and hard journey to realize that I was drowning. Because a lot of times people will not throw you a life jacket or let you in on a raft or have a lifeboat on standby. They will not help you. They will see you drowning and they will just keep going past you. And it's difficult. It is very difficult and it's hard to live like that. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But again, it comes down to expectations. What do you expect? What do you want? What are you after? Are you chasing it? Are you watching it go past? Are you trying to grab it? It's up to you. Don't let somebody else's expectations stop you from reaching your own. I know what that's like. Like I said, I've been down that road before, and it is a dead end. In more ways than one, it is a dead end. There
Every
is
time.
nowhere to go from there. There is not. You will get stuck, and you will have nowhere to go but backwards. But sometimes you gotta move back to go forward. And if you're stuck in that situation, you gotta go back. You can't keep going. You have to turn around and you have to change your aspect and your perception of the way that that relationship is based. Because if it's based on an expectation that person has on you to meet, it's not a good relationship.
It's not a good path for you.
And I'm not talking about just relationship like sexual. I'm talking about any type of relationship in your life. It don't matter who they are. The relationship has to be positive and it has to be, I don't want to say beneficial, but it pretty much, yeah. Now, it can't be detrimental. Let me say that. It can't be detrimental. It doesn't matter who they are. Either if you have to try and fix it or you gotta let it go.
That's facts. And honestly, shit, everything can be fixed. It ain't even on your part if you ain't the only one in any relationship. It ain't on you to fix it. It could be your relationship with your mom, your parents, your cousins, your best friends. It don't matter. Because if being even around those people actually make you lower your expectations of yourself, something's off. Because you're not being true to yourself or whatever whatever you aspire to in your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
To be true to you, honestly, you might have people hating on you at points. To be true to you, you might have people looking at you like, damn, I thought he was like this though. Oh, but because sometimes even when it's good for you, the changes that you're making in your life to develop and grow, sometimes they still not gonna rock with it.
Nope.
And at that point, now you have your eyes open like, wait, so they ain't want the best for me then. Maybe it was just me wanting the best for them and trying to make them think the best of me that held me back from being the best I could be in the first place.
Yeah, and sometimes that hurts. Sometimes that realization, it hurts. Especially when it's coming from someone that you didn't expect it to come from.
Facts, closest ones. That be the ones, because that's the expectations you want to, you kind of want to make the people that you care about and what they care, the people you care about think of you in a positive light, a good way and stuff like that.
And be proud of you.
Yeah, most definitely.
We had an episode on pride, and again, that's the expectation of pride, and then to not get it is like, let me explain it. So say you're in a relationship with someone, right? And you start something new, and it's like, oh, you're proud of yourself, you're happy with what you're doing, you feel like you're growing and building onto your character. But your expectation was for them to feel just like you, like, oh yeah, I'm proud of you, I'm happy you're doing this, I hope this is gonna go good for you. I hope you find yourself in what you're doing and find your tenacity and being able to keep going and strive for where you want to be. Sometimes you will not get that, and that brings up a deeper conversation that you need to have with the person. If they don't want for you what you want for you, something has to change. Their expectations of what you wanted and then your expectations of how you wanted them to react to how you wanted and wanted you to get and where you wanted to be, that's the conversation you need to have. But if you can't have that conversation, that relationship or whatever you call it with that person,
whatever.
connection,
Attachment, shit.
it won't work. It just won't work. There's no fixing it. If you can't have that conversation about realism and being able to connect
And
efficiently,
be truly you, express yourself, all that.
it's just not gonna work. Communication and what is that saying? What is that saying? What is that Saying communication and communication and comprehension are not the same thing. So you can communicate with someone, but if they're not comprehending what you're saying or really caring to try to comprehend what you're saying, it's like talking to a wall. They can hear you, but they're not listening. So it's like you can say whatever you need to say to get it off your chest, but if it's one ear and out the other,
It's wasting your breath.
yeah, honestly. So, like I said, you can put whatever expectation on whoever you want. And they could put whatever expectation on you. Doesn't mean they're gonna meet it. Doesn't mean you have to meet it.
Mm.
You just have to be aware of that and be conscious of the fact that not all expectations are meant to be met.
Mm.
Sometimes expectations and reality are strangers.
Mm.
Sometimes they always will be. And you gotta be okay with that.
And the only thing you could control is yourself at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Your expectations, your perception, your sense of pride, your sense of purpose. Only things you can control are you in this world, to be real with you.
That's facts.
Give the power away to where it's like that stuff won't affect you and you will get all your power back. To where other people's perception, their expectations, all that stuff that how they want you to be and stuff. We only live once. That's what I always forever say, man. We only live once. If you're gonna live your life and somebody else's expectation, what if they expect you to be homeless on the street with nothing going for yourself? What if they expect that? Are you gonna really sit there and try to meet their expectation? Sometime it could be good for you. That's the ones you need though, when it's like they have expectations that are even higher than the ones you had for yourself.
Yeah.
Some people, you can really meet some people like that. Like, I met people like that. I'm happy to have people like that around me, and I strive to keep people like that around me, because if they saw something that I ain't see in me, I know my expectations was off.
Yeah.
And I had a couple conversations in my life where I was truly thankful for people opening my eyes to expectations that I kind of was distracted from looking at other people's expectations. So I'm saying you could have some good expectations from people. It's just you got to know which ones are for your best interest that meet the expectations you would want to have for yourself, and which ones is going to just meet expectations you would never want to have for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. You can always change the expectation you have on yourself. It doesn't have to be set forever. If it's like, oh, I want to make $50 today, and then later on during the day you got 49, you can be like, oh, I want to make 75. You can always change the expectation you have, but don't lower it just because something isn't going the way you want it to go.
Level up.
You have to aim high to reach high. You can't be like, oh, I want to make $20 today, and you make 20 and stop. Why? Because you hit the expectation? No, aim higher. If you're at 15, okay, I want to make 30, or I want to make 50. Don't say, oh, I'm just going to make 20 and stop.
Or the higher you aim, the higher you will hit. Even if you miss the target, guess what? You higher than if you would have expected less of yourself. That's why I say make sure your expectations are outside of your normal expectations for yourself. Like, fuck it. Like, wait, I ain't even do this yet. But now that's like a challenge. So I'm going to have to meet that expectation. If I don't meet it, shit, I know I'm going to be close to it.
Yeah.
Closer than I was if I was just like, shit, let me make $1 today. Let me make nothing today.
Yeah.
That's the sense of comfort. Like, no expectations. Honestly, you might live a comfortable life, but you're never going to be, or like, that comfort is not going to help you grow. That's all I got to say.
No.
It's just not going to help you grow.
It never does.
Like, I try to keep myself in uncomfortable situations, put some fire under my ass. I appreciate the people that put fire under me, that's around me. I'm trying to get more people like that around me, to where it's like, Flo, you sleeping, bro. You sleeping on yourself. Like, wake me up. Like, I try to do that for myself, though, so I don't even need that. But I would definitely do that for other people. That's why I'm like, I always give the love that, you feel me, that I would need.
Yeah.
I just try to be the way that, how they say that saying, what is that?
Put out the energy you want to get in.
Word, and treat others how you want to be treated, all types of stuff like that. Like, it's real shit. Because usually we do, sometimes we don't. But just pay attention to what you know, to your mindset, to your expectations.
Yeah.
And you control that shit. World in your hands once you start actually being conscious of expectations.
See, the thing is, like, you have more power than they tell you you have. You give power. No, let me see, what was it? The things that have power over you, you give the power to. So, if someone is around you hating on you or, pushing you down or trying to dig you a hole that they want to get you in instead of allowing you to reach higher, if you allow that around you, if you keep that around you, they will keep digging that hole for you. You're giving them the shovel, pretty much. You keep them around you, you're giving them access to the hole. And you're even giving them the shovel. Do not give somebody who wants to see you down the power and position and opportunity to keep you down. And I learned that too. It's like a lot of things in life are challenging you and will challenge you. But the only way to succeed in the challenge is to don't do the challenge. So it's like sometimes somebody's only around you just to bring you down. There's no asking why. There's no trying to figure out why. Sometimes they just do it. And the challenge that they're trying to put on you, or expectation also that they're trying to put on you, is let's see how low you can go. How high how you being low makes me feel high, or anything. It could be any reason, but sometimes that's the reason. But their challenge or expectation for you is to go lower. You gotta go higher.
They expect of themselves. Like they putting their own expectations of themselves and whatever. That's most likely probably what it be most of the time. They don't even be conscious of how their expectations for themselves is so low. Shit just rubbing off on everybody else. They expect everybody to be as low as they are, like hold their self to be.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like to get higher, you don't have to bring anybody else down. And a lot of people don't realize that. Like you don't have to push down to get up.
Nah, but they really not pushing up at all. At the point they just want to feel, because really they're not getting higher by putting anybody down.
There's no height advantage in that. It's like you make yourself feel higher when someone else is lower than you, but you're not actually higher. You're not actually getting higher. You're just getting drunk off the high of bashing somebody else down, but you're not actually getting any higher. If anything, you're going lower too, because you're putting that energy out. You're gonna get that energy right back. So in the long run, it's gonna be just as detrimental to you as it is for them. You gotta keep the energy positive, not negative. Because karma is a real thing, let me tell you. She will spin the block and spin it again.
I fell in love with that bitch when I learned how to treat her though.
She can be good and she can be bad.
Cause you gotta keep her working for you, bro.
You just have to, yeah.
If she can work for you or against you, bro. I had times it worked against me. I made a song about that shit too. That shit was a smash, low key.
But it's like your expectations, you gotta have them on a good note. So it's like you don't want negative expectations. You don't want, oh, today's gonna be a bad day, or today's gonna be blah 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 because yesterday was bad. Today's gonna be bad too. I'm just expecting things to go wrong or be horrible. That energy is not good. That is not good energy. You have to try and be adept and capable of switching the negative for the positive, because changing can't to can or won't to will is very powerful. It's a little minor word switch, but it's very strong.
Power in the words.
Very strong. It's like, oh, this won't happen. It's like, oh, this will happen. Or, oh, I won't have a good day. I will have a good day. Then you put that energy out there, and then you go throughout the day thinking and telling yourself, today's going to be a good day. So you don't focus on the bad things that happen during the day. You focus on the good ones. Like, oh, I tripped because my shoe wasn't tied, but I found $100 on the floor when I fell. Are you going to focus on tripping, or are you going to focus on finding $100?
And even if that good or positive experience don't happen in that day, don't let that day go to waste. Think about what you really like. What's going to make my day actually better? I don't give a fuck if you got to go buy yourself an ice cream cone. Go and do that shit. Treat yourself right. Like that's how you you keep that positive energy going. Because honestly, we humans, we got emotions and shit. We up and down regardless.
Yeah.
If you don't focus on trying to be up more than you down, the world gonna hold you there.
Yeah. Yeah.
People's expectations gonna hold you there. But now, see, that's the expectations of your day now. Just because you woke up and something happened that you ain't like in the morning, you gonna let the rest of your day go the same way and focus on that shit? Hell nah. You gonna be like, nah, I expect my day to get way better. You know what? Now in the night, I'm about to go do something that I ain't doing in a while and I want to do just because I want to do it. That's self-love.
Yeah.
That's using expectations for the benefits, for the positive things it could bring. And that's how you transmute shit on some alchemy, like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you gotta keep with the positive and uplifting days. You can't focus on the negative things, because the more you focus on the negative things, the more that you're gonna be able to focus on. Because
Magnets.
a lot of the things that you have, a lot of people wish that they had. I'm in a position now where a year or even 2 years ago, it's like I wouldn't even imagine. Like, I was dreaming for this where I'm at now, and even now, day to day, I don't even realize it. Sometimes I have to take a step back and be like, wait, I'm here now, but 2 years ago or even a year and a half ago, I would not have imagined I'd be in this position myself.
That ass.
And
And that's where I started. I actually went through that this year too, though. Somebody brought that to my attention. A couple people like that. Like, I had so much high expectations for myself just because I ain't hit all of them. I actually did hit most of them, and I wasn't even paying attention to what expectations I actually did hit. Like, how far I got. I wasn't even allowing myself to be thankful for the expectations and all the goals and shit I reached. Like, where I'm at right now, what I got going right now. Just because it ain't where that expectation I said was yet. You feel me? That don't mean to not be thankful, patting myself on the back, like happy and letting myself be happy in the process of always striving for better. You gotta switch that happy mode, that thankful mode. You can't have, it's like polar opposites, like negative and positive. Like, you can't focus on one thing and be focused on other thing. You can't just be like, oh, this gonna be like this for me, or this gonna be like that for me. And you see, it's a switch. It's gonna change.
mm-hmm.
Keep it where you want it. Be thankful for where you at. Grind for where you want to go. And don't let nobody's expectations hold you back.
No. Then you'll never get to where you're trying to go.
Facts.
And remember, if you aim high and you don't hit where you aim, you're still way higher than you were when you started. And
Okay.
that's a powerful thing. And don't let anybody's expectation really stop you, honestly. Because, like I said, just because you didn't reach where you were aiming to reach doesn't mean that you didn't improve or that you didn't reach high. Like, you're still, like, you aim for the moon and you land on, like, a star. You still got pretty damn high.
Word, now you're that much closer to the moon. Shit, shoot again.
Yeah, like, you're way closer to your goal than you were before, but you don't get lost in the fact that you didn't hit it.
Mm-hmm.
Relish in the fact that you got pretty damn close. Or you're way higher off than you are now, better off than you are now when you started, I mean. Like, life changes. Change with it.
Facts, just go with
Adapt,
it.
accept, keep moving, grinding.
Apply pressure.
But don't let expectation keep you down.
Only ways up, you
Blind to the journey and the path that lies ahead. What's worse, words you regret or words you never said you don't? Love me the same. Love me the same. You don't love me the same. You don't love me the same. Love me the same. You don't love me the same. You don't love me the same.